Y'all get ready?
Yes, you get ready.
If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.
Hey tea sippers, I hope you guys are doing good today. So a lot of you guys have requested me to do an update on all of the drama that's going on Love Island. As you guys know, I knew nothing about this show until my oldest child put me onto it. And so I got a chance to watch Love Island this summer for the first time ever. And I did fall in love with a lot of the castmates, Olandria and Shelley being two of my favorites. So what's going on is that Huda Mustafa is in some hot water. So if you guys don't know, she's in a new relationship. And so they decided to do a live stream in front of their, their audience. Somebody calls in and basically says that Olandria is a okay? And instead of them chastising this, denouncing this instantly, they both break out into laughter. And once they realize, damn, we've been caught, they try to play it off and walk it back. So we're going to go ahead and watch this disturbing video right now.
Do you want to answer it?
Yeah.
What if it's a fan? Wait, we gotta do it together. Wait.
I'll speak, man. I'll say something crazy. Hello?
Baby, you might want to turn the light. Hello?
Whoa. Hey.
Yo, I turned that shit off.
Hey.
Yo, what the fuck? What did they say? They said a bad word.
Yeah, they said a terrible.
Baby, this is your song.
That is some bullshit. And what I find very interesting is that he says initially, you know what I'm saying, well, let's not put them on speaker because you never know what they might say. So you already knew that you guys have some crazy, potentially racist fans because he was kind of hesitant to put them on speaker, but they did anyways. And the person says, Olandria is a in this little baby voice, and instead of them denouncing it, and from what I'm seeing, I don't know a lot about Isaac, but he looks to be biracial to me. We all know Huda loves some black and, biracial peen, okay? He looks to be biracial, so meaning he has black ancestry, and the fact that he could laugh at something like that is insane to me. But again, self-hating coons come in all shades and ethnicities, okay? Another thing is that then she tried to play it off and say, what did they say? That's a bad word. Okay, first of all, you're not talking to your 4-year-old daughter. Okay, you're a grown woman. You don't just say that's a bad word. You denounce it because you wouldn't have laughed and you wouldn't have giggled had they called you a sand jockey, said some racist stuff towards your heritage. Had they called you a sand N-word, you wouldn't have liked that. So I don't like her response at all, and many people on the internet did not as well. Now, Olandria responded to this, and she was upset once this went viral. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys Olandria's response right now. So Olandria says, I do not condone racism of any kind, nor do I entertain it. That kind of language is never acceptable, not in anger, not as a joke, not ever. Words like that carry generational pain, and pretending otherwise only keeps the cycle going. Defending it, laughing about it, or making excuses is even worse. I will not let this moment derail my purpose of uplifting my community. I'm standing firm with who I am and using this as an opportunity to call for real accountability and awareness. We all have a role in building a culture where speaking to one another with respect is a standard, and where speaking against hate speech is the bare minimum. While I anticipate this will result in surface level apologies that fade in a few days, I'd like to transform this moment into something actionable. I encourage those who have participated in the stream and their followers to demonstrate genuine commitment to anti-racism by donating to organizations and foundations dedicated to educating and uplifting this community, such as UNICEF, NAACP, and the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. I will be making a personal donation as well. In the next slide, I'll be sharing donation links to contribute to support HBCUs and underfunded educational resources for Black students. So then Huda replies back to her, and this is Huda's apology. She says, I've taken the majority of the day to reflect and collect my thoughts. to make sure this didn't come off as disingenuous. Last night, I quickly posted a statement acknowledging my reaction to the racial slur that was said on Lewis's live stream. I want to take this moment to more fully take accountability for my actions. I want to begin by saying I completely respect Olandria, and it's extremely disheartening that anyone, especially a presumed child, would find it excusable to use that type of language, and doing so only underlines the ignorance of the gravity that such a word carries. Olandria, it is not clear that this comment was targeted at you, and I apologize for my immediate reaction. How was it not clear in the moment? The lady, the person, the alleged child, it's probably an adult, said Olandria is a igger, okay, a igger. She said her name. Are you dumb? Then she proceeds to say, my reaction in that moment came from being caught off guard, not from finding the word or the situation funny. It was a nervous, uncomfortable reaction that I recognized was inappropriate. I want to be clear that I do not condone or tolerate anyone who uses such language, and I strongly encourage the individual responsible to reflect deeply on their words and the harm they have caused. I'm making a personal donation to the NAACP and encourage anyone who feels moved to do the same. I will also share a list of additional organizations that support racial equality, education, mental health support, so that anyone who wants to contribute can do so meaningfully. With love, Huda. So that did not go well. That did not go over well with a lot of people of color. People started going off, and they're putting pressures on her sponsorship. So you guys do not know, she has a huge collaboration with Huda Beauty. A few days later, Huda Beauty and Gymshark, who is another big sponsor of Huda Mustafa. And so they both ended up dropping her. And so this was major. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this right now. So this is what Huda Beauty wrote. They say, at Huda Beauty, kindness and humanity are at the heart of everything we do. Unfortunately, one of our recent collaborators have displayed behavior that does not align with our values. We are truly disappointed by Huda Mustafa's recent life, and we take all forms of racism very seriously. While we don't believe her actions reflect her character, we found them deeply upsetting. We know that many members of our community and team were hurt and offended by these actions. While we value the partnership we had with Huda, her recent behavior and the way the situation has been handled does not reflect our brand principles. As a result, we have decided to end our partnership and remove any related content from our social media platforms and in-store displays. Accountability is incredibly important in moments like this, and we hope that meaningful change can come from it.
Huda has finally spoken out after being dropped by Gymshark and losing a major deal with them. Gymshark has dropped Huda after a controversial live stream with her boyfriend Lewis caused a backlash earlier this week. Another brand, Huda Beauty, made a similar announcement saying they found the live stream upsetting but hoped Huda learns from the experience. They said the decision wasn't made to punish her but to respect those affected. Huda later apologized, saying she laughed from shock and not humor. She said, I was completely caught off guard and nervous, not trying to be mean. Lewis also issued his own statement explaining he understands how serious the situation is and is expressing his regrets. The story has now become one of the biggest influencer controversies of the week, with fans divided on whether the punishment fits the mistake. In the midst of this, Huda has spoken out about being dropped by Gymshark and other brands. Underneath a post about it, Huda left a comment. In her comment, she wrote, "This is devastating. I just don't understand why I'm being piled on like this, instead of a discussion being made." It sounds like she wishes people would talk about what happened instead of just canceling her. But before you go, I want to know, do you think Huda deserves another chance? Huda has...
So you guys see here, she says, this is so hard. I'm being told I'll never find work. Brands are dropping me. What happened to nuanced discussion? Where has that gone? Okay. I think part of the reason why brands are dropping her, because this is proof of your racism and you not calling it out. I remember watching the reunion and Olandria was damn near crying. Because she really considered Huda a friend. And she says, your fans are constantly trolling me. They're using the N-word at me. They're disrespecting me. And I need you to use your huge platform to tell them to stop. And Huda didn't do this. Let me go ahead and refresh y'all's memory. This was the reunion just a few months ago.
Why didn't you do the post that Olandria asked you to?
Like, I was dealing with so much outside of that. Like, I didn't know what to say in that moment because I was dealing with so much. I wanted to address more than just that.
Truly wish you would have just prioritized that moment to just address the racism and the bullying towards me and Shelley, since that was spewed out the most. That hurt, Huda.
I was getting hated on as well, racially.
I get that, but your face was not plastered on George Floyd's body.
I didn't
Mine
even see
was.
that.
I told you that.
This was as a result.
It
I
was
don't
that
condone
bad.
that either. I don't condone
I
it either.
explained
Me
it in
addressing
the
bullying
airport
is
like that is hurt. That hurt.
And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, I didn't make the post.
I'm glad you've grown from it now, but that hurt, bro.
I'm really sorry.
We was close.
I'm really, like, truly.
And you didn't speak out for me.
And that's my issue. When I see this going on, that woman literally broke down during the reunion and said, I'm hurt. They had her face plastered on George Floyd's body. They were going in on her. They had them looking like gorillas and things like that. And she asked her as a friend, please, tell your fans to stand down. It is not that damn serious. So for Huda to hear that and then your first response is to laugh, knowing that people are already giving you the side eye for you not having Shelley's back from day one is insane. So I don't feel bad for her because why? Racism has consequences. And so the consequences for you, ma'am, is that you're losing your sponsorship deals. You're losing your partnerships because you decide to be funny. And the crazy thing is your own boyfriend said, dang, we may not want to go live because we don't know who could be on the other line. That should have been a sign. Why take a live call when you know that you have crazy fans who could get you in deep water? So again, this is sparking huge debate on TikTok. I think there is a lot of jealousy. I think Olandria literally, people expected her to be the underdog, the least desirable because she's dark skinned and Taylor didn't want her. And she has literally outshined everyone. You see her everywhere. From Ebony to New York Fashion Week, Olandria is gorgeous. She's getting like really, really high-end opportunities. And I'm not saying that the Huda Beauty partnership is not a big deal, because that's a big deal. Huda Beauty is a global brand. Gymshark. Any bag is a good bag, especially in this economy. But when it comes to like regalness and like really like, high-end, visibility, Olandria is eating every single time. She is booking major jobs that a lot of these girls from Love Island are not booking. She's in spaces that a lot of these girls from Love Island are not in. She's ripping runways. She's doing all types of stuff. And people didn't expect that from her because, she's a dark-skinned girl and, things like that, which is just insane. But I think there's a lot of underlying jealousy. And I felt like that giggle that her and Lewis or Isaac, whatever the hell her boyfriend's name is, was to bring Olandria down a notch. Like, yeah, you think you're all that. You think you're at New York Fashion Week. You think you're getting these big magazine covers. But when it's all said and done, I really feel like that's what was playing in their mind. That's why they first laughed, as opposed to denouncing it and calling it out right there and then, which is just disgusting, especially being that her boyfriend looks to be half black. So now, if you guys don't know, yesterday Shelley responded. She was asked about it during an interview on the red carpet about all of the drama and the racism going on. And so she spoke on that. And also, from what I'm hearing, Shelley and Olandria are not as close as they used to be. They did end up meeting on the red carpet. They took a picture, but it seemed kind of awkward. From what I've gathered from what fans are saying, that they fell off a few months ago. Not really sure why. But we're going to go ahead and listen to Shelley's response right now.
This event is about sisterhood. What does sisterhood mean to you?
Sisterhood means everything to me. I'm an older sister of 5, so it's like, it's about protecting one another, standing up for one another, being there for one another, and just showing up and just being a sister. Yeah.
And speaking of showing up, I mean, you used your platform to back Olandria, and unfortunately things were said. Why was that important to you to speak out?
It was so important because everyone deserves to be defended, and especially in that situation particularly, I can resonate in so many different ways, and it just wasn't fair, and she didn't deserve that. So I just wanted her to know that she wasn't standing by herself, and that there are people who see her, hear her, and have her back.
Yeah. It feels like there's just one thing after another sometimes. What is a show about I mean, you two beautiful women being out in the open, but that exposes you to a lot of hate as well. What has this experience taught you?
It taught me how strong I am, how strong all of us are, honestly, because no one prepares you for this. You get the little advice that, hey, some people might hate, but this is a whole different other level. So this is like a testament to how strong we are, how confident we are, and just that, no matter how good you try to be to the world, it'll always have something, but you got to just keep going.
What an honor it is. Yeah. Have you heard from Huda at all?
No, I haven't. But I wish her all the best, and I hope she's doing amazing.
And how's Ace?
Ace is doing lovely. He's back in LA, my man.
I love. How has the relationship been progressing and just obviously adapting to real life?
Oh my gosh, it can get a little bit challenging with the crazy schedules and everything, but we truly have each other's back through and through. So it's like, wow, I really have my person. So we just continue to grow with each other and navigate so many different things of what a relationship comes with. But I love it. I'm happy there. He's happy. We happy.
So I'm reading some of the comments in response to this interview, and folks are going in, child. So I don't know what went on between Shelley and Olandria, but something definitely happened. So you guys see here, this person says, did not defend Olandria when Ace came for her. Somebody else says, Olandria didn't defend her either when her family and friends insulted her. Another person says, sisterhood, but lost every sister she had in the villa except for the racist one. Somebody else says, she's fake. This person says, Huda isn't racist. What about defending Olandria with Ace's podcast interview saying her relationship is fake? So something went on, child. Something went on between them. I don't know. So after Shelley's interview on the red carpet went viral, a lot of people were talking about that today, and a lot of people are basically weighing in on the situation once again. Because like I said, this took place about a week and a half ago. But now that Shelley has spoken out, some people are calling her out. They're saying that she's a hypocrite because she's still friends with another Love Island cast member, the one that was kicked off during the season, and that she's not holding that person accountable, and that it's basically hypocrisy. So there's a lot of opinions on social media. And you still have a lot of people defending Huda and saying, well, she didn't say it. What is the big deal? Too many people are upset for no reason. So once again, another viral moment from the show that keeps on giving, which is Love Island, honey.
I don't know what type of enemy territory my For You page is on, but I'm so astounded by the fact that Huda could do no wrong in her defender's eyes. Like, no wrong. I don't know why my For You page is defending this woman. There's nothing she could do that could take her back. And even when I was watching the show, I was never a fan of the bitch. Hold on. Like, I'm at the point of starting to believe that she's paying y'all and there's some type of payment going on, or y'all some children. Hold on, this little one strand is blowing up. Like, I don't know what Love Island we watch where she has the best fan base out of everyone who was there. How the fact that even the people that was on the actual show don't fuck with her, or the fact that she comes outside and she's still like a terrible person and she's with Louis for long. Like, I don't know what it's gonna take for people to come to like a realization that this girl's a fucking loser. But like, I don't know, like, y'all gotta be 12 or 13 because this is blowing my, like, I don't know why I'm on enemy territory on my For You page. I don't want to see that.
Oh my God, you're black and you're defending Huda. Yes, because at the end of the day, this isn't about being black and this isn't about racism. This is about trying to humble Huda. And anybody with eyes who has observation skills can see that. You would think that it was Huda herself who said the word on phone call the way that y'all are acting, but she wasn't. Last time I checked, Olandria's still friends with Austin, who was posting a lot of Trump support on his account before he went on the show, and he was posting a lot of racist remarks. Or how about the fact that Olandria's hubby bubby himself at one point was reposting Trump support? Or let's call out the big fucking gun, Miss Shelley herself still being friends with Sierra, a woman who actually did use a racial slur more than once. Oh, and is still friends with somebody who made fun of George Floyd. Has Olandria posted any support to help Palestinian children and what's going on in Gaza? No. Has Shelley posted anything about supporting Palestinians and helping the children in Gaza? No. Do I think it was appropriate for her to laugh during that situation? No, it wasn't appropriate. But I also do know that people have a tendency to laugh in uncomfortable and awkward situations. How do I know? I'm one of them. Heavily so. So let's take, y'all were literally just waiting on that girl to make a mistake.
So she is clearly a Huda fan, okay? She is Team Huda all day. All right, that is her opinion. Next.
I'm calling this now. If the album that Huda is working on is remotely good, just a little bit good, one hit song on the entire album, she is going to be a superstar. She is going to be launched into the stratosphere. She will be best new artist, probably get a Grammy, all over the radio, adored by everyone. She is meme gold. She's so marketable. We all saw it on Love Island, season that keeps on giving. I feel this in my bones. I don't think Huda's going anywhere. I think Huda is going to be like a staple in society. And I'm saying this irregardless of whatever crash out or controversy she is gotten herself into. Like, I don't care. She's relatable. She's funny. She's beautiful. She has like the most amazing body. Like, what? She's a mom. She has a cute little daughter. She can actually sing.
I'm not trying to be funny because I know Gen Z tends to look a lot older than millennials. This looks like a grown woman, and the way she is just dick riding Huda is insane. She's amazing. Her body's on point. Huda is a pretty girl, cute little shape, but it's like, ma'am, you look like you're 30 plus. Why are you infatuated with somebody possibly younger than you? Like, she doesn't come off like a teenager. She looks like she's in her 30s. She could be younger, but she looks like she's 30 plus. It's just weird. I could see this coming from like a 15, 16-year-old. This is a grown woman.
She's gonna be it. She's the next generation of pop music that I feel it in my bones. I don't know why. I don't know music that well, but like, it's gonna happen for her one way or another. You heard it here first. Huda's a superstar.
People calling her racist and then calling me racist. Sorry. Cough, cough. I don't know if you can fucking see. I'm black. Yeah? You know, not the darkest, but I've definitely been kicked in the face with it, right? And she's with me. So, make it make sense, bro. Bro, the world has gone to shit, bruv. Like, our kids are gonna grow up in like this. This is just an opportunity for the haters of my girl to fucking run with hate.
You know what's funny is he wants to cuff, cuff. Look at me, I'm black. I'm not the darkest, but I'm black. Sir, first of all, you're biracial, so let's get that clear. But second of all, it doesn't matter if she likes you because you're black or biracial. Just because she likes black and biracial peen does not mean that she likes black women, okay? Folks love getting dicked down by big black peen, but that does not mean that they have love for black women. And the fact that now you want to, talk about your blackness, it's very interesting because when I watched you on the initial video, you sat there laughing. You were more animated than Huda was. You were laughing louder than she was. You should have been most offended because you are half black. So to me, you're goofy, and nobody cares if she's dating you because you're biracial, you have some black in you. That means nothing if she does not like or respect black women like Olandria.
So let me just start by saying I like Winter's podcast, right? I think her and Shy are really funny, and I don't think Winter is a racist or a colorist like many try to claim. However, I do think that she continues to make it evidently clear that she was raised solely by a white woman who could not have taught her a thing about being black in America. And I'll insert a clip, but in case you missed it, Winter basically got on her podcast and not only defended Huda with this N-word situation.
Opinion. She should have shut it down, but like also, she didn't say the shit.
Yeah. Do you believe she should have lost her endorsement stuff?
No, I don't. Yeah. I don't think she should have.
But followed it up by just saying she's so annoyed about how everything in this country is about race.
It's like annoying me that like everything in America is surrounded on race.
Do you understand how audacious that comment is? Like, for you to identify so loudly with being biracial and screaming to the world on all of your platforms, I am black and I am white, and then act as if race is a conversation that we can just opt out of talking about? Because, babe, literally everything in this country, unfortunately, is about race. From the jobs we get, to the schools we go to the healthcare we receive. Everything here is rooted in a system that was built around race. And in the justice system and pretty much every other system, it is still evidently clear that race is still a very active part of all of our lives. So when you grow up in black culture, but raised by a white parent who clearly did not teach you anything about what it means to be black in America, you start to sound very out of touch. And Shy, as a black woman, a fully black woman, sitting across from her, that was your opportunity to step in and have a teaching moment, because you knew that comment wasn't right and should not have gone unchecked. Because if you are uncomfortable educating your friends about race and the history of our country when they make ignorant comments because it may cause friction, then you need to reevaluate who you are comfortable sitting beside on a platform, especially.
Love Island season 7 cast is so performative, and I'm sorry, like, I'm not letting this Huda shit slide for 1 second, because Huda didn't even have to say the word for all of them to come out with these PR trained ass statements. She didn't even say the word, but they're still following Ulissa. They're friends with the Ulissa. Sierra's shit got posted on the internet, blasted, and Shelley was still posted up with her, but now all of a sudden has something to say about racism and hate. It's all weird. Like, just say y'all don't like the girl, because she's not even the person who said the word. Her reaction was shit, but she's not the person who said the racial slur. Austin's repost of, like, you know, Haitians being X, Y, and Z, yet Shelley will still be posted up with Austin. Olandria will still be posted up with Austin for, even though he had all of that shit going on. But Huda laughs at someone saying it, and now they're all down her throat. That's BS. This cast is so fucking performative. This is all like selective outrage. It's selective outrage, because it's like half the cast, and it's fine, you know.
Now she's spilling some tea. I didn't know about the Austin and the other stuff. I'm hearing little things. I'm seeing in the comments. So it seems like it's been a lot of little racial issues going on with this whole Love Island situation. So let's continue to hear what she has to say.
Oh, you're friends with who you're friends with. You're not friends with who you're not friends with. That's okay. But like the way that the internet jumped to attack Huda and like everyone wants her to lose her brand deals, that's cool. But the cast acting like this is nothing but PR. This is all like PR training bullshit. The statements, the unfollowing, like, it's so performative. Just say you don't like the girl and move on, and you were looking for a reason. Like, that's fine. Not to say that one act of hate or racism was worse than the other, but like the fact that they don't have that same type of outrage for the people who were actually being racist versus someone who reacted poorly to racism, I think that's definitely something.
Now, is it just me, or am I the only one that finds it unnecessary that Shelley had to respond to this? Shelley responded to Huda and Louis laughing at somebody calling Olandria the N-word, allegedly speaking. But the problem I have is that she was all geeked up with Sierra, despite the very direct things that Sierra said herself out of her own mouth on her own social media page. I mean, where was this energy for Sierra, Shelley? You just pick and choose what you're going to address when it comes to racism, but want to make broad statements about how you're anti-racism, except only when it applies to your friend or somebody that you dislike saying something. This is just a way for her to shade Huda. I don't care what anybody says. I'm in no way defending Huda. Do I think it's plausible that she may not have heard exactly what they said based on, if you watch the whole entire video? It's possible.
Damn, Olandria, I clocked your tea that hard you had to block me too? Now this could be in response of my latest video where you downplay racism towards Huda at the reunion by cutting her off while she's expressing to you that she's also been a victim of racism from your fans, and all you had to say was, I get that, but what? Racism towards you is more important than racism towards her? Why is that, Olandria? And sis, wait till you find out that the person who created that George Floyd edit of you was actually a Shelley fan trying to make Huda look bad. You know what I don't think is fair? That Andy didn't call your ass out alongside Shelley for liking and engaging with hate pages that were publicly racist to Huda. Y'all might still be together, but you and Nick are the biggest PR couple and scammers of the show's history. How a couple never pursue each other end up together. Oh, you're a Shelley follower. You guys were damn near finishing each other's sentences, fighting each other's battles in that damn reunion. And that's why I picked Clark.
One thing Huda has confirmed to me is that when you're a really pretty girl, you have to protect yourself because everyone is waiting for you to mess up. When women like Huda appear a little bit too perfect, people are not going to give you the same grace when you make a mistake.
Huda is the perfect example of someone the internet refuses to hold accountable. Every time she slips up, people rush to say, she didn't mean it. Y'all are overreacting. But at some point, y'all gotta stop mistaking charm and popularity for character. We all watched the clip. I clearly heard what was said. Now, she just did the slur herself, but her reaction, it spoke volumes. Laughter wasn't just awkward, it was acceptance. And that's where accountability comes in. know what's crazy? I've always been really neutral when it came to Huda. Never hated her, never defended her, just kind of stayed out of it. After seeing that, I was like, yeah, baby, go ahead and log off for me. Maybe she laughed because she was uncomfortable. Okay, but hear me out. She's not just some random person on the internet. You're somebody with brand deals, somebody who has influence, an audience that's watching your every move. Awkward or not, there is a standard that you're expected to uphold. Like, it don't even matter that it was about Olandria. You personally acknowledged you heard the slur and you thought it was funny. This is not about canceling her. This is about holding people to the same standard that they profit from. You can't cash in on culture that you won't defend when it's disrespected. And I'm not saying she's racist, but I am saying she showed you what she's comfortable laughing at.
We obviously feel like, and I think she feels the same way, that the reaction, like, that didn't happen. We wish it wasn't a thing. You know, she took accountability for that. I think her response for everything she did also was mature.
Yeah.
So, you know, while this may not make everyone happy, I think she took the necessary steps.
Racism is extremely serious. And there are people that are genuinely triggered by this and upset. And you have every right to be like, we are never going to tell people how to feel about that. But it comes to a point where there are people who are using this just as a method of like taking down a person rather than actually caring about racism. And that's what I have a problem with.
Yeah, it's very easy for you to say that. Again, I don't know what her ethnicity is, but if somebody was talking about you being, you know, Latino or Arab or whatever, you would feel away. It's very funny how now accountability is people just wanting to take people down. No, it's called accountability. Okay, but let's go ahead and see what else what other excuses she has for Huda.
If you are it never came out of Huda's mouth. It has now become this thing as if Huda herself said it and being used because they want to take down Huda and not because they care about racism.
Yeah, and I would say everyone releasing statements too. Like, the one that kind of annoyed me the most was Shelley. Like, keep that energy because you're hanging out with Sierra after everything that happened to her. Like, I don't understand, you know, why. I feel like Shelley's intentions were like to attack. She's literally.
Yeah, you're picking and choosing. Mm-hmm. And racism applies to everybody. And I think that, like, her statement is because it was Huda.
As a Middle Eastern woman and a former supporter of Huda Mustafa, we gotta talk about this live stream. First of all, Middle Eastern people are not white. We are not white, so we gotta stop with that and calling her a white woman. Arabs in general and Palestinians specifically do experience a lot of racism and discrimination. However, when we think about our identity in relation to a black woman in this country, we are afforded more privileges, believe it or not. The more melanin you have in your skin, the less privileges you're afforded. In this specific context, Huda has more privileges than Olandria. Hearing the word with the hard R and laughing is absolutely unacceptable. And I get it that it's plausible to laugh out of nerves, but it's still not okay. It's absolutely disgusting to hear that word and not react in anything but disdain. I agree with the accountability and I hope to teach her a lesson because being complicit is just as bad as being a racist. As a Middle Eastern woman,
I really respect this Middle Eastern woman. Her name is Ruth Drana. Thank you for holding your own accountable. Because again, if that was Olandria talking about Middle Eastern people and calling them terrorists and all that stuff, we would hold her accountable. That's not okay. So thank you for doing the right thing instead of making excuses, you know, for Huda. People are literally acting like she's a white woman now and she didn't know. It's all these excuses all of a sudden. All right, child, there is so much drama. I got to catch up on all the internet tea. I'm hearing bits and pieces. I'm reading bits and pieces. But that is the latest. Okay, Shelley has spoken. Some people agree with what she's saying. Other people say it's performative. But tea sippers, I leave the conversation up to you guys. How do y'all feel about all the drama that's gone on this season on Love Island 7 after the season was over? All the social media drama, and do you agree with Huda losing, you know, all of her endorsements, or do you feel like that was way too harsh and that she didn't mean to laugh? It was just an uncomfortable situation. So I look forward to reading y'all's comments down below. Please hit the video with a like. Feel free to share the video, and I will talk to y'all later. Deuces.
If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.